So why do you move back when you go upstage and closer when you go downstage? Let's talk about this in a little bit. Chapter 8, Art of Directing. Directors are the ones that are in charge of the production in terms of what a show looks like. And they're the ones that come up with the ideas on how the concepts on how everything's going to come together. And they have a whole team of people that help them to do that. They have to work with other people. There's no such thing as a play without somebody helping them to put it together. But then this scary dude came along, and in terms of how we think about a director nowadays, he is the, I guess you could say, the grandfather of of how we consider directing now. And what that means is one individual person who takes a story, gives it a vision, and tells and conducts and instructs the actors and the people in the support team on where to go, where to move, how to say something, and paying attention to the details. This dude right here, Konstantin Stanislavky, if you're an actor, you will definitely come across this guy. Stanislavski is very famous for teaching a method of acting that gave a real sense of what the character was going through. It's kind of like the difference between watching Robert De Niro and watching a soap opera actor. So back in the day, a lot of shows, a lot of plays were very melodramatic, like soap operas. And with Stanislavski, actors started to get really into the mindset of a character. So if somebody was hungry, they wouldn't just go on stage saying, "Oh, I'm so hungry. Oh, I'm so hungry." They would actually embody hunger. So they would feel what it would feel like to be hungry, maybe not eat for a long time. I don't know if anybody saw that movie, The Machinist. Uh, yeah, with Bale, the guy from Batman, and how he lost a whole gang of weight to play that role. And so that lends to a level of being real about the character that you're portraying. These are some things that you have to understand as a director when you're breaking down the script. Or you know what? Funny story. Let me go back to this. Uh, Beats. A beat is a pause or a a moment that an actor or character takes to go from one idea to the next idea. So if I'm going to say, "Hey, how you doing?" I I'm "Hey, how you doing? What's the weather like?" When I take a beat, I might try to extend that pause a little bit more. So the director will say, "Okay, well, I want you to take a beat here." So I'll say, "Hey, how you doing? How's the weather going? How's the weather doing?" And or how's the weather out there? So when you're taking a beat, you're taking a pause. Here's the interesting part about how that happened. When Stanislavski started teaching in the United States, because he's Russian, he started teaching in the United States, and he would tell actors that he would want them to take a pause for a bit. And he would say, he was meaning a bit, so wait a bit type of thing. But because his accent was so thick, it sounded like he was saying beats. So it's like wait a beat. So that's how Stanislavski came. That's how the word came to be. All right, that's when that director is deciding what is going to be the idea behind a play. How's it going to come about in terms of what it's going to look like and how the characters are going to be portrayed in the play. Think about it in terms of a play like Shakespeare or a play like Romeo and Juliet. When you do a production concept, you'll start out by saying things like, I want to put Romeo and Juliet in a modern time and make it about gang violence in Miami. And so you have that's the production concept. And so you'll have a movie like Romeo and Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio version. And or you can say, hey, I want to do Romeo and Juliet in medieval times, with swordplay. And so that might be something, a production concept that's more familiar. So the production concept is the big picture of how you want to put something together. When you're dealing with casting, there's a few different types of casting. You have cast by type, against type, neutral casting, and cross-gender. Cast by type is very important. Cast by type means that when you are casting a show, the actor that you want to play that character looks like the character that the actor is going to portray. So if the script says the character is an overweight 50-year-old man, when you're casting, you hire an actor that's overweight and in his 50s. When you're casting against type, you're doing a play that, let's say the playwright said a 50-year-old overweight guy, you're going against type, and you might do something where it's a really thin guy who's in his 80s, right? So you're going against the type of character the script calls for. And then gender neutral casting is when you're not looking at the gender of the characters. So you can cast a man in a woman's role or a woman in a man's role, which is similar to cross-gender casting, and that's going to be when you're specifically going to just cast women in men's roles and men in women's roles. And then colorblind casting is when you are going to cast regardless of the person's race. And so, oh, you know what? The new Spider-Man 2 movie is coming out, right? And so I think Electro or Magneto, no, not like Electro, is going to be played by Jamie Foxx, and that character is traditionally a white character, but they're what's considered colorblind casting, and they're going to make him a Jamie Foxx, an African American. This is an illustration of how they can do that. So when you're on stage and there's a group of people on stage and somebody walks away from the group, people are going to pay attention to that person that's walking away. When you are in a triangle formation, the person that's in the center will get more attention than the people on the side. When you have a stage that has a bunch of levels, stairs for example, the person on the top step is going to get more attention. But then you can also do things to help to focus pretty much everywhere. And so that's the multiple focus thing. So a separate group, a separate person can pull focus, but so can a group of people that are all the way up stage. and also some people stage right. Now, here's the trick about that upstage and downstage stuff. When you are on stage and you move and you're looking at the audience, right? So the actor is on stage, they're looking at the audience. Stage directions means that that's the perspective that you're going from. This perspective is from the actor's point of view looking at the audience. So when you move stage right, if the actor is looking at the audience, they move to their right. And that's called stage right. If they say move stage left, the actor moves to his left or her left when they're looking at the audience. And that stays the same no matter what direction, what perspective you're looking at. So if an actor, if the director is in the audience and the director is sitting in the seats looking on stage, and the director says, I want that actor to move stage right, the actor will move to the actor's right, but it will look like they're moving to the left from the director's point of view. And so and that's why you do that to keep everything from being confusing on stage, so that the director can say, okay, I want you to move stage right. That actor moves to the right. Now the upstage and downstage part, that's when going upstage means that you're moving back towards the back of the wall of the theater. Moving downstage means that you are getting closer to the audience, getting closer to where the seats are. This originated when in Shakespeare times, the stage that they were on was raked, which is what that means is it was like a ramp. So if you know what a ramp looks like. So it starts at a ground level and it slowly goes up. And so that's considered, when a stage is doing that, is considered a rake stage. And so the low level is is close to where the audience is. And as you're literally moving back towards the back wall, because the stage is on a ramp, you're actually going higher up. And so up is what is what it means when you're going upstage. You're going back towards the back of the wall, and when you're moving downstage, you're lower and down, and you're moving closer to the audience. Every now and then, a director gets an opportunity to talk with the playwright. Sometimes the playwright is still alive, and the director gets to talk with the playwright and get ideas from the playwright to see what it is that the playwright is intending. We have two different types of directors. An interpretive director, they have to stay accurate to what's written on in the script. So if the script says to do something or create an environment, that's what they have to. That's what they have to do. And the playwright can actually do that in the notes. So the play says this takes place in a living room. They have to create a living room for the action that they take place. They can't put it on a rooftop. But then there's the creative director, and the creative director can pretty much do anything they want to in terms of the ideas involved in the play, of how things look. They can't change the words. That's the one thing that you can't do. You can't change the words of the play, but you can change where something takes place, the environment, all that good stuff. All work together to get this play across. And that's about it for today.